As the Israel-Iran conflict intensifies with US forces now involved, what comes next for the region? Dr. Ferooze Ali joins us now to unpack the developing situation. Dr. Ferooze, good evening. Now, we're speaking one day after the US targeted Iran nuclear sites, Natanz, Isfahan and Fordo. On one hand, President Donald Trump is claiming success of a major blow to Iran's nuclear capabilities. But on the other hand, we're still seeing Israel continue its strike on Tehran and other cities. So what might be driving this continued action from Israel? And how would you read it in the context of the American military strikes?
Now, it is very important to understand the very reason why Israel lobbied US to get into a war with Iran is to achieve at least three aims. Number one is to eliminate entirely the three uranium enrichment sectors inside Iran, that is, as you have mentioned, Isfahan, in Natanz, and also in Fordo. The second objective is to encourage the United States to engage in a carpet bombing mission throughout Iran as a way of taking out the remaining missile launchers inside Iran, and probably to also encourage a form of shockwave to the regime, therefore destabilizing it. Now, the third objective is to potentially replace the regime with another government that probably can be friendly to the West and also Israel. Now, instead, what occurred is United States engaged in a very limited precision-based bombing on the three areas I've just mentioned. Only three areas. And the outcome from this operation did not yield any result close to what the Israelis are looking forward to. That is the eradication of missile launchers throughout Iran, and also destabilizing the whole government. We are seeing Iranian still firing missiles on daily basis to Israelis. So this form of outcome that the Israelis are seeing, it sends some form of a lack of confidence on the outcome of the overall American operation that we saw yesterday.
Right. Then, in your view, Dr. Ferooze, do you see any other signs that could suggest the strikes are part of a real broader campaign by Israel that goes beyond nuclear containment? You know, as you mentioned, it's one that's aimed at destabilizing Iran's leadership, especially with Trump's public remarks recently on a possible regime change.
Now, in order to understand whether Israel is keen on engaging beyond containment of the nuclear enrichment program itself, we must understand how much support United States is willing to give out to Israel to continue with destabilizing the core objective of Israel. Now, to be really frank, in order to engage in destabilizing the region, it requires a lot of resources, military resources. And we also must be realistic at the fact that while Israel is militarily stronger than Iran, its military resources is finite. Currently, the Israeli military is overstretched in Gaza and in Lebanon, and now in Iran. And Iran is really a big country. To give you a mental picture of the size of Iran, it is 8 times larger than Peninsular Malaysia. So it requires a lot of military resources to engage in an extensive operation to totally destabilize the region and hopefully with that encourage a change in government. So what I see instead is the Israeli government might want to really set back the Iranian government to a point where it is militarily weak and might not be able to project any form of threat to Israel for the coming 5 to 10 years. At least that is what the Israeli is looking forward to, especially so with the lack of support that is coming from the United States at this point.
Mm-hmm. And when we're talking about looking forward, given the current escalation, very quickly, do you see the region heading towards a prolonged conflict, one that's similar to post-2003 Iraq? Or is there still space, however limited, for diplomacy to pull back from that brink?
No, I see it largely depends on where Donald Trump is going ahead with this. We must understand that within Donald Trump's cabinet itself, it is divided at this point of time. There are some of his supporters that has been lobbying him to not go further on this operation in Iran for the fear that there will be this 2003 repeat of Iraq invasion, where United States expended a lot of financial resources, military resources, a lot of casualties on his side. Some of those within his camp wouldn't want to see a repeat of it. So these people are pushing him forward, not to go further. And while there are also the neoconservatives who wants Donald Trump to engage further on this issue. So in my point of view, whether we're going to see a repeat of 2003 war, largely on Donald Trump's decision to support Israel or not.